What's going on, guys? It's Kyle Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. I'm joined by Mike Wacker today. We'll be fighting on ACC 19. Mike, thanks for joining me.
Hey, anytime, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Appreciate it. And tell us a little bit about your fight coming up.
Well, I have my MMA debut coming up. So it's the first time I'll be stepping in the cage. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, so a new journey, a new obstacle, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I have a good opponent. The guy's going to be tough, so I got to train hard, get ready for it.
And you mentioned it's your first MMA fight, but you've been a long-time grappler. You've been in the game, kind of mixed martial arts for a while now. Tell us a little bit about how you got into it and your journey to this point.
I started jiu-jitsu when I was 12 years old. Been training pretty much, 5 to 7 days a week since then. Nothing special. I didn't have anything. I just kind of fell into it, I was lucky enough to find it back then when not many people knew what jiu-jitsu was. So, hey, I found a passion. I followed it, and here we are today,
Awesome. And you're talking about jiu-jitsu you've been doing since you're 12. What belt do you wear at this moment?
Right now, I'm a third-degree black belt under Rob Kahn from Gracie Tampa, and I have plenty of black belts under me now, so that's kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, and I understand you're also an instructor, so you're teaching people as well. Tell us a little bit about, you're entering your MMA debut as a black belt, a third-degree black belt, and teaching, I'm sure, helps improves training and fighting as well. Take us a little bit through, what do you expect from your opponent? Do you expect him to stand up, to stay away from your grappling game, and how coaching and teaching has helped you through the way?
I'm sure his game plan is to, keep me standing. He probably thinks he's going to be able to knock me out. I'm assuming that's what his game plan is going to be, but I'll be prepared for it. It's not my first rodeo as far as preparing for something like this. Having to help my guys get ready. I get in there and work with them. So, hey, like I said, new challenge, but it's not going to be foreign to me. I'm not going to look uncomfortable, and I'll be ready to go. I could promise you in another 5 weeks, I'm going to be the best version of myself, and I'm going to bring it, man. It's going to be fun.
Awesome, and you're an instructor. What gym are you do you instruct at and teach at?
I own Black Belt Jiu-Jitsu in Wappingers Falls, but we have 4 locations now. There's one in New Paltz, Mayapack, and Cortland Manor or Westchester. So I try to get to each one of the schools, work with everybody. And then on top of that, right now, my main concern is, of course, my training and getting my work in. And everybody really understands that. But you'll see me at in the Wappingers location pretty much every single day, morning, afternoon, and night.
And you're talking about you're juggling, going to all 4 locations, training with people, as well as doing your own training for this fight. Are you bringing your training for striking at another gym, or are you bringing people into your gym to help you?
Well, I'm using all the resources that I have available to me, man. I have my boxing coach, Ellis Harris, who's amazing. I have a few guys that are coming in to work my Muay Thai, but I'll be traveling to a few of my friends' schools as well. Hey, if I want it, you got to put the work in, right? So I'll be traveling a lot, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Most definitely. And who's going to be cornering you in your when you're in your fight night?
I have a few people that I have in mind, but you guys will see fight night.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Take us through, I guess, a little bit of your training for this fight, from day to day, week to week, and what you've been doing leading up to it, and how diet. I'm sure diet's not an issue for you, but how's that going?
My weight is perfect right now. Not worried about making the weight. I hate dieting. I'll be honest with you. I want a friggin' pizza in the worst way. So, but you know what? It helps me because I feel better each day, especially when you're pushing yourself to the extreme. Depending on the training session. When you're eating the better foods, your body just feels better. So even though, I want some carbs in my life, I'm not upset about it. I'm eating properly. I have a meal plan. I had someone do my diet for me, so all I have to do is follow it. If that's the case, it makes it kind of easy. But I'm right there where I need to be, so I'll be good to go.
Now, does your weight that you compete at for jiu-jitsu the same weight you're competing at on the 22nd?
For the most part. I feel like a lot of my super fights in jiu-jitsu, like I've agreed to a certain weight limit, and then the other guy comes in way heavier, so it really didn't matter. But when I fight in like the federation tournaments, I'm a featherweight. I get down to 149 pounds day of weight, so 146 pounds won't be too bad the night before. So I'll be good to go. And I'm working my diet a little bit differently since it is night before weigh-ins, so that this way it's a little bit easier and my weight's a little bit different the day of the fight.
Awesome. And I guess talking about training and fighting and competing and everything, what have you learned most from coaching and seeing your fighters get in there and compete that you can use for when you go in and compete?
Just follow the same type of game plan that I always give them. It's about the work that you put in the gym. It's about executing the game plan, listening to your coaches, and following through with it in the ring. If you lose composure and your mental state isn't there, you're gonna lose. If you walk in there with any self-doubt, you're gonna lose. So that's one thing that I've always tried for my fighters. You have to eliminate the self-doubt. You have to push them to the limit. You have to make sure that they're doing everything the right way. And as long as you do that, you have no regrets. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome.
You just have to practice what you preach. Walk it. So that's what I have to do.
Did you feel like you had to prove something by going into the cage, or is there a reason why you wanted to, make this leap to MMA? Do you plan on fighting more fights after this?
I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anybody except for myself. It's something that I just want to do. I'm going to be 32 years old now. And if I didn't do it now, then I think if I look back on my career, I'd probably regret it. I'm looking forward to this one, and we'll see what the future holds, man. There's, who knows? I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm not looking past this fight. He's going to bring it, and, I have to be ready for it, and I'm excited.
Awesome. And I guess tell us some, you kind of already answered it a little bit for me, but long-term goals for, the gym, your career as well, for jiu-jitsu as well as MMA. What are some long-term goals for everything?
For me, man, I just want to keep the network growing. I feel like Black Belt Jiu-Jitsu has really grown immensely, especially within the last 5 years. I'd like to keep that going. I'd like to see, more affiliate schools open, and when we go to tournaments, keep being the forces that we are. But more importantly, just acting professional and having a good reputation of not only being great jiu-jitsu and MMA fighters, but also just good people in general. You want people to feel comfortable every time they walk into your gym, and I think that's the most important thing. A lot of people lose sight of that when they turn it into a business, but I don't want to ever lose sight of that. So it's something that's very important to me, and I think that's what part of the Black Belt brand is all about. So
awesome. And what are some goals in Bjj Competition? Is there any events coming up that you're registering for or getting involved in?
I'll be back out on the jiu-jitsu scene probably right after this. I take a week off after the fight, and then get right back at it. I'd like to get back out on the federation tournament scene a little bit, maybe do some sub-only tournaments again. I'm definitely not done. I'll be out there again, plenty. I don't have anything planned right now, other than coaching, but that's just because I'm solely focused on what's going down on September 22nd. I'm a firm believer is you never overlook any of your opponents, no matter who it is, and I'm not doing it this time. So September 22nd is my main goal. That's all I'm thinking about.
Awesome. You're definitely focused on September 22nd. What can fans expect inside the cage when you enter?
You'll see. You'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, come to the fight and you'll see.
Well, I will be there. I'm actually commentating them, so I will be there, and I'll have the pleasure of watching you step in there. I'm excited for it. I know fans are talking about it, so I'm looking forward to seeing you get in there. You have any sponsors for the fight outside of your gym itself?
I have 80K Fightwear. Always hooks me up with some awesome gear. But for the most part, it's just us, Blackwood Jiu Jitsu. That's it. That's all I need.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I appreciate taking the time for joining me. Anyone you want to recognize and shout out to?
I don't know, just all my students and my family, for all of the support that they've given me. All the schools that I travel to, all your instructors are really close friends of mine. Everybody that's getting me ready for this fight, they know who they are. They know how appreciative I am of the work that they're putting in with me. And, come fight day, I'm not going to let them down. So those are the people. They know who they are. I don't have to list them individually.
Awesome. One last question before I let you go. What's one thing about you that nobody knows but you'd like to share with the fans?
I can't ride a bike.
Really? Okay.
Can't ride a bike, so I could do a whole, step in the cage. I could do pro jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I can't ride a bike. So that's like a fun fact that everybody likes to laugh about.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate taking the time. How can people find your gym online and social media as well as yourself?
Yeah, man, you could follow us at blackwoodjujitsu.com or .net, either one, or you can go on Facebook. We're right on there. Just type in Blackwood Jiu-Jitsu. Give us a like on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram if you want to follow me personally, because I'm awesome. You can follow me at Wacker's Wizardry, or you can follow the school at Blackpool BJJ. We're also on Twitter at Blackpool BJJ MMA. So you can shoot us a like or a follow. Keep in contact with everything that we're doing, and look forward to meeting anybody that does.
Awesome. Well, hey, appreciate it once again for joining me. Best of luck on the 22nd at ACC 19. And best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.